While Eva watches him intently, a new day begins. Eddie comes up with an idea. He can connect their balconies with a rope and send her some water. Suddenly, a jumper zombie appears, trying to grab Eva, but a perfectly aimed throw changes its plans, and it runs toward Eddie instead. That's a small problem compared to another zombie pounding at his door. Eddie holds the fridge against it, while a climber smashes the glass, but knocks itself out in the process. Eddie rushes to the balcony to finish it off. Some blood gets on his face. Eddie wipes it off, hoping he's not infected. He goes into the hallway to grab Brandon's keys, but zombies appear. Pretending to be dead, he fools them. They run past. He locks himself in Brandon's apartment and starts looting. There's a good supply of food, and even climbing gear. Eddie remembers Brandon's story about his friend's attack, but gets ambushed himself. The zombie almost gets him, but can't bite through his clothes. He takes all useful items and goes back to his place, checking his body for bites. Looking through the peephole, he sees some zombies still trying to find him. Among Brandon's stuff, there are 2 radios. After a rest, Eddie goes to the balcony, climbs down, quietly makes his way to Eva's building, and throws a radio onto her balcony. Then he returns home. The next day, Eva finds the radio, and now they can talk. Inspired by the ventilation zombie incident, Eddie comes up with a way to break into other apartments. While crawling, he finds a zombie that has long been dead. In the first apartment he enters, there are lots of supplies. He tells Eva, but she says she's tired of waiting to be attacked and has decided to climb down and get to his place. Approaching a door, Eddie sees a fridge, meaning someone lives there. Turning around, he meets Edward, who had smashed through the wall to get inside. Edward says the apartment's owner was already dead, then offers Eddie some food. Not canned goods, but real meat. Eddie doesn't find this strange and lowers his guard, allowing Edward to attack him from behind. When Eddie comes to, he's tied up. Edward is insane and wants to feed Eddie to his wife. He offers Eddie some pills so he won't feel the pain. Eddie accuses Edward of feeding their neighbor to his wife. Edward says he tried, but for some reason, she didn't attack the lifeless body, which is why Eddie is still alive. Edward hears Eva's voice and goes to check it out. Eddie seizes the moment, breaks free, and pushes Edward into his wife's arms. By then, Eva's apartment is swarming with zombies. Eddie runs into the hallway toward his own apartment, but can't get in because of the fridge, so he hides in Brandon's place. He grabs some sheets, climbs down, and makes a hard landing. The noise of a potato sack hitting the ground attracts zombies, but luck is on Eddie's side. There's a loaded shotgun nearby. The shots attract even more zombies, but Eva throws down a sheet for him. To stop the zombies from following, Eddie climbs up and cuts the sheet. Then Eva climbs down to him. The two head into the hallway, but zombies break through, without noticing them. They run up the stairwell, where Eddie tries to break a door handle with his bat. But the bat snaps. On the top floor, a zombie attacks. Eva tries to push it off, but ends up knocking Eddie down instead. Zombies attack, unaware that his clothes are made of Kevlar. Their buildings are connected, so the pair make it back to Eddie's place. Zombies attack from every door, but working together, they defend each other and make it to Eddie's floor. Eva gets inside, but a zombie monster attacks Eddie. It tries to switch targets to Eva, but Eddie drags it away. A few minutes later, Eddie comes inside and prepares to jump down. But to his surprise, he still doesn't have a single scratch. The movie ends. Eddie has been sitting at home for quite a while now, not going anywhere, all because of the total lockdown that began a month and a half ago. Back then, he met a girl. But when Eddie opened his eyes, she had vanished. Walking through the apartment, he notices a note from his parents asking him to pay the rent. In the hallway, someone is screaming hysterically and banging on the door. Thinking it means nothing, he turns on the TV, but all channels are down. An alarm starts blaring in the city. People are running from something, and then a destroyed helicopter falls from the sky onto the city. A girl calls for help, but just seconds later, she becomes aggressive and attacks people. Suddenly, Brandon bursts into Eddie's apartment, saying that his friend, whom he'd known for years and who had never shown aggression before, attacked him. On the TV, the news reports that a strange disease has broken out, turning people into zombies. Just one bite or scratch is enough to get infected. Eddie instantly realizes that things are bad. He pushes Brandon out into the hallway, where Brandon fully transforms and tries to attack Eddie, unsuccessfully. Leaving the apartment is impossible, so Eddie sits back down to watch TV. The authorities urge people to stay at home and wait for further updates. He tries calling his parents, but the connection is poor. However, he receives a message. They went to look for his sister, but because of communication problems, they don't know if she's alive. Eddie tries calling them again, then sits by the window. On the mirror, he keeps a tally of the days he's been locked inside. 6 days pass. TV hosts are discussing the psychological effects of being confined in a small space. To distract himself, he records videos describing his condition, but the constant screams of the infected drive him crazy. Another week passes, and Eddie decides to tape up the windows. By now, it's known that the infected can speak various phrases. Someone knocks at the door, but Eddie doesn't react. 2 days later, the water runs out, and the food is almost gone. While wondering what to do next, a zombie crawls in through the ventilation. Eddie grabs a baseball bat and attacks, killing it. Just in case, he blocks the ventilation. By day 42, supplies are down to just a couple of days' worth. He has to go out for food, but he's terrified. A new message arrives from his parents. They still haven't found his sister, and as for them, they are trapped in an office and can't get out. The message is cut off by the screams of infected who have found them. To blow off steam, he steps into the hallway. But there are too many infected, so Eddie runs, luring them to a lower floor, then making his way back via another staircase. That evening, the electricity goes out. All hope of survival is gone, until he sees a living girl in the building across the street. But infected are running around there too. Eddie prepares a few messages to introduce himself. She notices him and writes her name, Eva. She's also out of water, but luckily, it rains that day, meaning they can stock up on water and even wash.